going to interview Marie Dolan. Marie lives in Ardmain. What games did you play? Can you give a list?
We played trance and house and shop.
Were there a great number of families in this townland?
Not really, no. There'd be big families in the houses, but there wouldn't be a lot of houses.
What were the most common family names then?
Ryan and Maher. We were Ryan, my mother was Ryan.
What types of houses were there? Were they thatched or slated?
Thatched. There were quite a few thatched houses there. Our shed was thatched one time. My father thatched it. We were able to thatch ourselves.
Did people emigrate when you were a child?
No, not really. No, to be later in the 50s and
60s they went to London a lot, yeah.
Although I immigrated myself now, but they didn't immigrate that much. They couldn't afford to go. And then they hadn't education.
Do you know any discontinued fairs from before your time? Where?
Not from before my time, but I remember the fair in Cashel. And they used to bring the cattle up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. Drove, and there'd be two or three people, one in front and one behind. You have to close all the gates.
Did older people tell you food before your time?
Yeah, they lived on potatoes was the main diet. That would be after the famine, so potatoes were very important. But everyone had their own, sowed their own potatoes and turnips and carrots, so you didn't have to buy any of that.
What food was for each meal?
Eggs in the morning and porridge. We got a cake bread. That'd be soda bread now. People made their own bread. There was no loaf bread in. The first loaf bread we got, we were coming home from our maid school and the grinders came in after the war. And we saw the middle of them, we brought home the crust. No one had, you might get a grinder for Sunday, but you'd never have loaf bread, as we called it now. We never had loaf bread during the week, or homemade bread.
Was milk drunk?
It was, yeah.
What kind of milk?
Cow's milk and goat's milk. Goat's milk, lots of people are goats.
Was meat often eaten? What was it, fresh or salted?
Salted.
What kind of meat?
Bacon and pig's head.
Was fish common?
Yeah, fish on Friday.
Did people eat late at night?
No. Couldn't afford to eat late at night. They wouldn't have the breakfast in the morning.
Do you know when tea was first drunk in this district?
No, I remember just drunk what I remember. I don't know anymore. But it used to come in a tea chest, loose tea. It shouldn't be in tea bags now like it is now. Come in a big chest. And when the chest was empty, they used to get it from the shop and put the babies into it when they were starting to walk.
Do you know any old story as told by the elderly while sitting around the fire on winter nights when you were a child?
Well, it'll be mostly ghost stories. That'll be the most, and I suppose they would talk about music and the peddlers going around selling song sheets. You buy the songs of them. Well, the only thing I can tell you is what the story I wrote about the moors myself, and it kind of covered a lot of things, conversations about history and that. So I'll just say it now. And the name of it is The Ancient Armel Moors. Alone it stands deserted, dismoted out its tree, its trials and tribulations take back to antiquity. Wildflowers blossom on its banks, mid footprints from the past, where its chieftain and his warriors still ghostly shadows cast. It reigns above its kingdom, high and proud since time untold, guarding priceless treasures buried deep beneath its mould. It wraps you in its history at dawn when all is still, and haunts be a mortal's trespassing, where ancient stories soldiers thrill. At night its innuences enchanting to behold, as moonbeams glisten in the dew upon its weathered mould. The fairies weave their magic still around this rare and ancient hill, and the eerie shadows cast a spell to guard this place where they dwell. On this moat now no castle stands, where once it rose so proud. All traces now have vanished through the veil of time's dark shroud. It is a place of history, mysterious and remote, an ancient relic from the past, the ancient armoured moat.
Are there any ancient local monuments such as crosses or standing stones in your area?
No, the castle, that's the only thing over the road. The Norman Castle.
Can you tell me exactly where it is?
It's just up from the moat crosses. You go to Armade, it's on the left between the two crosses. And the other cross is called the Old Pillar.
Tell them how you go to Mass, Marie.
The mess pit. And they used to come down from Longfield across the river in a boat and come up by the double ditch and up the mess pit to Mess. And there was an old woman in Ghost Cross, can't think of her name now, and she used to walk down from Ghost Cross every Sunday to Mass. And then D.C. Maher used to go to second Mass and he'd be fasting all night. We couldn't understand how he could stay fasting till second Mass to get communion. The only thing that used to happen years ago when all the people down the road, they thought there was an underground passage running from the moat to the whole abbey. And up the hill here, just up the hill, they decided they'd go digging to see this. I think there was a hollow sound. Folklore now that there was a tunnel from the moat to Cashin.
What changes in the area over the years have you noticed?
Well, all the new houses and the modern day living and people going to work and women working. When we got married, you couldn't work if you're in the civil service. When they were doing the electricity, canvassing for the electricity, called around to know if people take the electricity. Before that, they had no electricity, only an open fire. And then you got to sell a fuel cooker and no electricity, and so it's kind of canvassing for people to take it. They weren't over enthusiastic about it on account of the expense. And we wouldn't buy the kettle then because we were afraid that we wouldn't be able to pay for it. It took a long time to get it. Now you wonder how the youngsters would ever think that you could have survived in those times.